Zale, and today I wanted to react to real life vampire encounters trending on TikTok compilation by Nomi Hub. Um, so I have been seeing a bunch of videos on TikTok recently, and I was kind of interested inside of all of those. I just think it's pretty fun, but also like terrifying at the same time. If that makes any sense. And I'm very into fun and terrifying. So yeah, if you hear any like noises, I do have roommates, and I do have the window right in front of me. So if you hear any noises, like car noises and stuff, it's probably just the outside, or it's them in the other room, being loud, etc. So be wary of that while watching this with me. All right, let's get into this. Protection
Vampires? Y'all want to talk about vampires? Okay. So I don't normally do talking videos because number one, I think I'm annoying, and number two, I am a real life yapper. So if I start, who knows where this is gonna go? But I've been seeing everybody getting on here and talking about their real life vampire stories, and so I wanted to share mine. So I'm in a PhD program, but in order to be able to like afford life, I bartend. And I bartend in rural West Georgia to set the scene, like 30-45 minutes from Alabama. Rural. And I work at this small bar. I like to say it's like a step above a dive bar. It's not a dive, but it's not like a chain. It's not fancy, so I like to say it's a step above a dive bar. And most of my guests are regulars. So I have regulars that come into the bar every single day. I know they're going to be there. I know what time they're going to be there. I know what they're going to drink. And maybe there's like 3 or 4 new people on the bar side. The restaurant side is different, but on the bar side, like maybe like 3 new people a day, if that. Okay, so this is the middle of the week, maybe 3 or 4 p.m. It's dead. I mean, I think I have like 3 other people sitting at the bar. And this person walks in and they sit down at the bar. Okay, so I'll describe the person and I'll describe their demeanor as well. And then like I'll give some details to what sort of made me believe that this person is a vampire. So first of all, you know the trope of like vampires have really pale skin? Opposite of that. Okay, complete opposite of that. This person had like a beautiful dark skin, like probably the darkest skin I've ever seen in person, darkest skin I've ever seen outside of like editorial fashion magazines, so really dark, beautiful skin. It just looked smooth, like there were no pores on this person. I'm saying this person because to me they were male presenting. I don't know, but so he had blue eyes, like neon blue almost.
What?
So I
saw a very unique person.
I saw this person and I was like, these are either contacts or you're a vampire. I mean, this was an unnatural color for somebody to have for their eyes.
I mean, blue and very dark skinned. That's a very rare person right there.
They were also wearing, I want to call it a frock. I mean, it was like a high-necked black shirt with long sleeves, and this is like middle of the summer, so people don't wear that in Georgia. So it was a very strange gear that they were wearing. And then it was the demeanor. So the demeanor was like,
I'm mysterious.
Okay, like looking around like, what is this place? Like they were trying to understand the culture that was going on. And so you might be asking yourself, like, Jess, could this person have been a thespian? Could they have been, was he a man of the theater? Possibly. But again,
a man of the theater.
West Georgia. So, I mean, like, local community theater at best, and that's no shade to community theater, but this man was just,
a lot.
Like, if this person were an actor, they are method. Like, he did not break. His characteristics were very specific. Okay, so he spoke very little. And then we only have 8. Sorry, Okay, I'm not used to like holding and recording this because I never do this. But we have about 8 beers on tap, okay? And one of them is a Yingling. So he ordered a Yingling, and I'm already thinking like this could be a vampire. And what's interesting about Yinglings, I drink Yingling, I drink ambers and red ales. I like beers that are that color, that coppery color, and they have that coppery taste. And I like to tell people, I like beers that taste like a penny. What's interesting is, you know, if you've ever tasted blood before, if you've had like a cut or something, okay, blood tastes like a penny. Blood tastes coppery. There's a coppery taste to blood. So I was automatically like, okay, evidence, you're a vampire. So he ordered a Yingling. He sipped it, and then he acted like it was palatable. Not that he was like enjoying it, but that like it will do. He did not want a food menu. And then, let's see, okay, this is where it got weird, was I'm already in my head, like, first of all, okay, let me pause. Something about me, I am a skeptic who wants to believe. So I'm open to your conspiracy theories. I'm open, like, I'm the mythical creatures, sure, yeah, they're out there, but I need proof, I need evidence. So I'm willing to go on this ride with you, but you're gonna have to give me something. So I'm already like looking for evidence to prove to myself, okay, this is a vampire. And I have really bad hand eczema, so like I don't know, can't really see right now, but like
same.
I get like open cuts. Sometimes they bleed. So on his second Yingling, I noticed like I'm bleeding, and I have his little pint glass in my hand, and I hand it to him, and I hesitate, like I don't want to like trigger you. If you're a natural born hunter, you're a predator, you're gonna lunge at me right now. No. So I like hesitated and then gave him the beer. So he laughed, but not with his mouth. Like I heard it in my brain. Like
that's
a
disgusting.
Thought. Like I heard him laughing in my head, like I was recalling a memory of someone laughing. I didn't hear it like an auditory response to something. Okay?
No, okay.
And then, I mean, that was pretty much my only bit of evidence that I had, but yeah, he just seemed like he had great disdain for everyone around him, which, you know, it's rural West Georgia. If those ain't your people, them not your people, but he just seemed like he was either a vampire or he was like from London, you know, like I'm just better than you was the vibe. He only had the 2 beers. He didn't eat anything, and so the total was probably like $9 something, and then I think he left 40. So really good tip. Never saw him again. Haven't seen him since. I don't even know if anybody would remember him if I brought him up. But that's my vampire story.
Interesting. Heard him laugh in your mind.
Today, every business needs a website.
He had a higher than thou personality.
This is what your business looks like.
Or look, it's my first
it's not.
freaking Arab.
Now, you may not believe it, but the myth of vampires in New Orleans is deeply rooted in its history and cultural lore. One of the most famous figures in New Orleans vampire lore is the Count Saint-Germain, the infamous Count Saint-Germain. Now, why do I say that? He's known as the man who does not die and who knows everything. People have been seeing this man roaming the French Quarter since the 18th century. New Orleans has long been associated with tales of the undead, and the myth of vampires continues to captivate locals and visitors alike. Now, this could be just adding to the aura and mystery of intrigue around New Orleans. But me personally, I choose to believe it. If you have a story or a vampire sighting in New Orleans, stitch this and let us know. Because surprisingly, I don't have any vampire stories. I do have these on the loan.
I've never been to New Orleans, but I swear it'd be amazing. I'd be so down to have a spiritual experience or some kind of experience.
This video is going to be hard for me to do because it's something that I've held quiet for quite a long time. Because the topic's so crazy, so fucking out there. It's almost unbelievable even for myself, even though I loved it. It's the topic of vampires are fucking real. And And I ran into 6 vampires in Florida in March of 2010 in Hollywood, Florida.
Why?
And it was at this little hotel in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
It was a poolside. And yes, they can walk in the light. They were even suntanning. The girls were. There was 2 girls and 4 guys. And at least a total of 6. They were from all over the place. One was from Brazil, but it was hailing out of Canada. One was from Spain. 3 were from Romania, and 1 was from Bulgaria.
Romania, right on the nose, huh?
And they were nice. They weren't there to eat people or shit, but they do eat people. Just so you know. I know it's hard to believe. It's crazy.
You mean
I
they
swear on my
eat
life.
their blood?
And I would pass a lie detector test with the blink of an eye again on this subject.
How do you know
And they
this?
showed me their fangs, and their fangs are actually behind their canine teeth right here. They're on the inside. Like double teeth
Canine
fangs,
teeth?
like of wolves. Yeah, they're crazy like that. And it took a while before they came out and said they're vampires. They didn't just say, hey, we're vampires, you know. They were really low-key. And we were having dinner together, and one of them said, you know I'm a vampire, with his accent, because he's from Romania. And from Transylvania, actually. And I was like, really? And he showed me a teeth. I was just fucking with him, you know. I didn't expect him to be a vampire. I thought he was kidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure as fucking, on everything that's holy. He was a fucking vampire. And I go, you ain't gonna eat me, are you? You know, I said, bite me, but because then later he told me that they eat people. And he goes, no, he goes, you're cool, man, don't worry about it. And it turns out they're on a mission there from Vlad the Impaler himself, because he's the head of the vampires. He's still alive all these centuries. It's not a myth. It's a real, the real story of Vlad
Mr. Vladimir Plusmus.
Tepich. Well, he's the real deal. And
Where is
he's
he
still
at?
alive, and he still lives in Transylvania. And under a different alias. And I guess he's pretty crazy.
So quiet.
I guess it would have to be centuries of murder and eating blood and people. And yeah, so I ran into these fucking vampires, and they're actually really cool, really nice, and they like my sense of humor because I was joking about fucking killing people and shit and making them laugh. And the chicks were really hot. I don't think I'd sleep with a vampire chick, though. I wouldn't trust the bitch. But, yeah, so I just kind of wanted to, being that we're on the tails of World War III and we could all die in nukes, I just kind of want to get my story out there that vampires are a real deal. And they said that they own hundreds of islands in about 5 or 6 countries. And they are part of the Franco-Masons, the Freemasons, part of the Franco-Masons out of Sicily. I wonder what they play in all this part of World War III, how they would react if people were going to nuke people, where their food shortage would stop short. But I guess they have blood banks. That's true, that part's true too.
They won't always have blood banks when there's
I asked
not
them a
much
bunch
blood
of
to go
questions,
around.
but I tried not to pry too deeply because I didn't want to get my ass bit, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's, it's hard to come out with something like this because most people are going to think I'm lying, and I swear to God I'm not. And I was pretty shocked. I mean, I was stunned. I mean, when you hear it and then you ask for proof and you see some shit like that. So I made them all show me their teeth. And they're like, and then I saw them back there and I go, bring them down. And they're like, I was like, whoa. It was crazy shit. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share my story with people. Just to let them know vampires are fucking real. And you never know who's a fucking vampire because they don't have a certain look, you know? But they're all good looking people, to be honest with you. So, alright. Peace out.
It's time for you to get your reading superpower.
Oh, my
So stop
gosh,
straining your eyes and start.
Rowski, it's another
Tell
ad.
me a story about a time that you know that you saw something, but you don't ever tell this story because you know that no one would ever believe you. I don't think I've ever told this
There's
story
so many.
before because I would sound like an insane person, but I know it happened. I want to be creeped out. I just watched the video of the girl, the Lyft driver in New Orleans, who says she picked up a vampire.
Yeah, I
I have more
heard
stories
it.
like
I
that,
saw
but I'll
that
tell you
one.
mine. When I was 7, my family was living in a suburb of Chicago, about 30 minutes southwest of the city. My parents were out. They went bowling every Friday night, so I know it was a Friday. Our babysitter, Maria, was over. She was a teenager, like probably like 16, 17 at the time, and my little sister was about 2. We lived in a split level, so my sister and Maria are like downstairs, and I'm in the kitchen. I was looking out the back window, honestly probably waiting for our little neighbor boy to come outside because I had a crush on him, and I was always like running outside whenever I saw he would come out. But in our backyard, there was an apple tree, there was a lake, and then there was a fence separating our yard from the neighbor boy's house. It's dusk. The sun is like pretty much set, and I see a black panther jump over the fence and come down, stand underneath the apple tree. It was so tall that its shoulders almost came up to the first set of branches. Jet black fur. And we had a house cat, so I know what the house cat size is in relation to this thing. This thing was easily 6 or 7 times the size of our cat. So I start calling for Maria, like yelling at her to come up to the kitchen to see this black panther in our backyard. She was taking her time. My sister was crying and she was tending to her. I'm standing there mesmerized by this black panther. And it turns and it looks at me and it makes eye contact. And on its head, this thing was jet black, but on its head, it had a little patch of white fur just going right like this. And we just stare at each other for a good 5 seconds or so. I hear Maria starting, she's coming into the kitchen, and as she's walking into the kitchen, the panther runs into the lake. I was like, there was a panther in our backyard. Maria's like, it was just a house cat. I'm like, no, it was a panther. Fast forward to later on that night, my parents still aren't home.
Big old cat.
I'm in bed. I hear our doorbell. It's probably close to like 11 o'clock because my parents were still out. They usually came home around like 1 in the morning. So naturally, I hear the doorbell ring. I get out of bed. I go to the top of the stairs and I see Maria answering the door. And I'm like creeping on the stairs, and she lets this man in, and he's wearing all black. He was like very pale. And I hear him tell her basically that he was a traveler who like lost his way and he needed to use our phone. It was the 90s, so people didn't have like cell phones easily accessible,
okay.
So he just wanted to use
like,
our
that's
landline.
weird.
So
That'll never happen today.
Phone. It's very muffled. I can't hear what he's saying. I like remember the conversation, but I don't. That's where mine and this girl's stories are similar. So after he makes his phone call, he's like turning to leave. He walks past the stairs. He looks up at me because I'm still sitting at the top of it, and I see on his head he has a little patch of white hair in the same spot that the panther had. And he looks at Maria and he goes, "Thank you for your help. It's really easy to get lost in the shadows." And he leaves. Now this man shook me. Like I could not sleep that night. So when my parents got home, I was still awake in bed. I ran downstairs. I told them all about the panther. They chalked it up to an overactive imagination, and they were like, "It was just a house cat. Like, you're just letting your imagination get the best of you." And I told them about the man. They were pissed. They were fuming. They fired Maria for letting a strange man into our house, as they should have. But yeah, I don't know. I've looked into it. There have been tons of Black Panther sightings all over Illinois, close to Chicago, and yet the Department of Natural Resources maintains that there are no Black Panthers in Illinois. So yeah, stitch this or let me know in the comments your story because I know I'm not the only one.
I mean, it's super interesting.
When was the last time you fed?
I prefer a nice liver, but I may change my mind at any time. You look very tasty, but I think I like you. Would you like to stay for tea, my friend?
Well, I just watch.
We are the first species.
Pay attention, people. Pay attention.
To be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight.
What?
We are the...
What was that lady?
This mysterious CCTV clip was shared on social media in 2014. Taken from security footage in a shoe store, everything seems normal, till a mysterious man, dressed in black, walks toward the exit, but as he passes the mirror, he has no reflection. Is this just an elaborate hoax, or are we seeing a vampire?
Might be an elaborate hoax. Or a ghost man. Either one.
Okay, so I keep seeing all these videos about vampires in Chicago, and it literally brought up this kind of repressed memory that I have not about vampires in Chicago, but about what this psychic medium told me when I was like 16 or something like that. So I'm from Chicago, but I visited Sedona, Arizona when I was in high school. I think I was like 16 years
Sedona,
old.
eh?
And if you know that Sedona is known for like, it's like spirituality and being like very high in energy. A lot of people go there to get married. It's where like the Red Rocks are. So we go over there, and like during that time, I was like super into like tarot and like finally getting into my spirituality or whatever. And so I like begged my mom to take me to this medium, this psychic, and she did. And I just remember going to this like old ass, creepy ass building out there, and the psychic comes down. It's this old white man, and he's like, come upstairs. I go upstairs with him. Genuinely, I don't remember anything this man said to me other than this. He was telling me there are people in this world that are immortal, but never die. Vampires are real. I don't know why this man felt the need to tell me that vampires are real. And now there's all this stuff coming out about vampires being real and people innocent vampires or whatever. Genuinely, I don't remember anything that this man told me other than the fact that there are people who never die, there are people with superpowers, and vampires are real. I don't know what we can take from this, but I feel like I needed to insert that into this like story that's going on. I genuinely feel like this man knew something, and I don't know if he saw something inside of me where he felt the need to tell me these things, but I just find it weird that there's this narrative going on right now that vampires are real, and I have this like memory from my childhood about a psychic telling me about this stuff. Like, what does he know that we're all finally starting to discover? I'm so freaking curious.
That's so interesting. Okay. I'm gonna actually stop it right here. I know. I haven't watched the full thing yet. I'm gonna split this into two. My storage has been having a hard time, and I don't want to make it have an even harder time. So, if you like this video, please leave recommendations below. Like, comment, subscribe. They all help me out, and they help me to grow. I would definitely like more things along this par, you know? I'm very into the creepy, weird, mysterious types of things, so, if you are too, you should stay here, because I'm gonna be watching more regardless. But yeah, so, thanks for watching.